Hey everybody, so on this build we're going to be making a 14-inch cake turntable. This one's got a really cool story, so be sure to stick around for that. We're going to get some of the lumber milled up. Be using maple and walnut on this build. Wish I could actually work that fast in the shop. So we start out on the miter saw, run it through the planers to get the uniform thickness, head to the table saw to get them ripped down to size. The boards on this one are about 3 or so inches wide. They're all the same width. Just got to make sure I get the maple on the end because we're going to be doing a V-carve inlay on this one. Something different, something we haven't shown on a video yet, but be a lot more of them to come. So once we get them all ripped down to size, then time to throw them in clamps. Hit them with some of that awesome Bossdog wood glue. I like the clear dry for stuff like this. It works really well for us here in the shop. And what do you know, I'm actually using a brush to spread it this time. Man, look at me go. And I figured for this one I'd do the obligatory YouTube, use every clamp that you possibly can to make sure everything stays flat, clamp up. Not totally sure it was necessary on this one, but I will say this panel came out perfectly flat. And I've got to give a huge shout out to Greg over at STL Woodworks for that last minute phone call just to make sure this V-carve went perfectly for me. Really appreciate his help. I'm going to leave a link to his channel down below. If you haven't checked him out, please do. That man does some amazing stuff. And now that it's off the CNC, I'm just going to knock down the little bit of remnants of the tabs that were left over from the cutout, as well as just some of that really thin material that didn't quite get cut out on the CNC. Do a quick sand here. The goal is just knock off the any of the fuzzies sticking up. Got the base cut out, so I'm going to go ahead and get it glued up, set it in some clamps, put it to the side. Now we're going to work on getting this thing sanded down perfectly smooth. As always, starting out at 80, going up to 220. I'm going to water pop before 220 here. Make sure we get both sides of this thing just perfectly smooth. A little pencil grit action just to make sure I get every part of this thing sanded down. About done sanding that base is out of clamps, so throw some oil on it real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and pre-finish the bottom of the turntable, mainly because right now there's not a big chunk of walnut blocking my way. So I'm going to go ahead and use some of this atomic finishes on here. This stuff looks absolutely amazing on this walnut and maple. If you haven't already, this would be a really good time to go down and hit the subscribe button. Give us a like if you like what we're doing here. It means the world to us. We really appreciate it. Just love seeing that walnut come to life like that. It's absolutely stunning. All right, so I'm gonna get that buffed off there. Go ahead and start measuring out and laying out for the base. And get the hardware installed. And oh yeah, the story. That's right. So we were on our way back from IWF. Videos we've got out now from IWF, but back to the story. So we were on our way back, had some mechanical issues with our vehicle, broke down, ended up having to call a wrecker. We're about an hour or so from home. Got the wrecker, just making small talk on the way back to the repair shop with the vehicle. Guy found out where we'd been doing woodworking and everything, and he decided he wanted to order a cake turntable, this cake turntable, for a special little girl in his life who really loves making cakes. And he wanted to personalize it by adding that V-carve inlay of her name in there. So as soon as we got home, we got right to work on this thing. And on delivery, these guys were over the top over this thing. They were very pleased with it. Getting that base lined up there. All right, and then once we get the base installed to the top there, it's time to flip it over and apply a little more finish to the top. Look at how that inlay really pops on that maple there. This thing turned out great. We really appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, again, make sure you hit like and subscribe. It really means the world to us. Let us know in the comments what projects you guys would like to see coming up next.